Hey everyone, welcome back to John's Watch. Today I'm taking a look at a new game called Rainswept. This was released on February 1st, 2019. The trigger price is $13.49 Canadian, which is probably like $11, $12 US or your regional equivalent. And it's developed and published by Frostwood Interactive. This is their first game released on Steam at least, and it is an adventure game, a murder mystery dealing with themes of love, relationships, and unresolved trauma. It's got a really cool art style, as you can see from this title screen. So let's just hop right into a new game. Monday at 12:14 AM. October 7th, 1996. Look how nice it looks, huh? I think it looks great. Oh. Well. Still looks good though. God damn, it's really coming down. Hope I don't catch a cold again. Okay, yeah, we can just click to interact. Use the arrow keys or the mouse to select further options. Okay. Yeah, it looks like it should be pretty intuitive. Like, we'll just click on a lot of things. Toggle smoking with left control. Ah, there we go, he's got it out. Okay, so we can, like, look at this. That's my car. Okay. I just got here. I'm not going back now. Okay. So do we have to be close to things? Yeah. They've been here a while, it looks like. Terrible. Have a look. What'd you say? I can't hear you over the rain. That's the way inside. I wonder why Chief sent me all the way to Pineview for this case. Only one way to find out. We'd probably go in there, I guess. Crowd is too close to the crime scene. Number of cops are few. This is poor. So can we go up here? Oh no, we just use. That's the way in. Just take a look around out here before heading in. Fine. I guess we'll look at everything. An open window. Oh, we can have a look. Oh. Ma'am, please, you need to back away a little. What happened here? A murder? Johnny, get under the umbrella. Granny, I want to leave. It's really cold. Can we go back to the shop now? We could all see this coming a mile away. Ma'am, please. Granny, please. Alright, Johnny, let's go. There's no point standing here now. Bye, Granny. I knew this would happen. We should have done something. There's nothing we could have done. Chris did this, I'm sure of it. Chris. Does look like that, doesn't it? Well, I know everything. I've heard everything I need to know. Detective Stone, right? The chief's inside. They've been waiting for you. Okay. Need to push the crowd away from the scene, officer. What? You'll have to speak up. Can't hear you over the rain. The crowd! Handle them! There could be evidence out here. We can't have the crowd trampling all over the evidence. Oh, yes, I'm trying... Hey, Williams, what the hell are you doing? Trying to prop up this tape, sir. It won't stay. We'll get some sticks and drive them in. Yes, sir. Richard? Don't call for Richard. Richard's on leave. Do it yourself. Goodness. Sorry, detective. Thing is, we're short of manpower here. We weren't prepared for this kind of thing. First time in decades. And to top it off, this goddamned rain. Just get the crowd under control. I'm heading inside. Yes, detective. Don't worry. Richard, I mean Williams. Jeez. I better stop smoking now. I'm about to go inside. Should I go in? Go in. No point hanging around out here. Aha. Oh god. That's the sheriff. I should talk to him first. I think you mean examine the body. I'll talk to him, yes, you're right. Michael? Huh? Whoa. Detective, are you okay? I think so, yeah. Guess I'm just a little tired after a long drive here. Okay, if you say so. Detective Stone, right? The head office called in to say you'd be joining us here for this investigation. I'm Sheriff Harris, and this is Officer Watts. What? Little joke. We appreciate the department sending help, but I don't think we'll need it. Case is ready to be wrapped up. What do we have here? The victims here are Christopher Green, age 26, died from a bullet wound to the head. Looks self-inflicted. And Diane Miller, age 24, single bullet wound through the abdomen. The victims lived together and were unmarried. Living in sin. Any signs of an intruder? No signs of forced entry. The door was locked from the inside when we arrived. An officer climbed through the open window here to open the door. No footprints outside that window. Except the officers. He was careful. No signs of struggle or marks on the bodies either. I guess we'll just ask everything pretty much. And what was the time of death? According to the next door neighbor, a single gunshot was heard around 00:15 hours. We received the call at about 00:20 hours, and we were here in another 5 minutes. We found them dead upon arrival and confirmed the timing. What do we know about the weapon? Those shots were fired from a .38 caliber special revolver. The ballistics report will let us know more. Any witnesses? Just the next door neighbor who claims to have heard a single gunshot. We can interview him shortly. Honestly speaking, Detective, we think it's pretty obvious what's taken place here. What do you mean? They had a reputation. They weren't exactly a happy couple. The whole town knows this. Diane was shot at point-blank range with Chris's gun, probably by Chris. He then went ahead and shot himself, as the wound is clearly self-inflicted. So you see, sending you here unnecessarily complicates things. Let's not be an asshole just yet. It's obviously a case of murder-suicide, Detective. So you've got it all figured out here already, huh? If that was sarcasm, I'll ignore it. But yeah, more or less. Are you suggesting there was domestic violence involved? It would seem so. It was never reported, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. So, rumors? You may call it that, but where there's smoke, there's fire. Speaking of smoke... Oh, I can't smoke in here. I'm not sure that... And they were never really able to fit in this town. They were new here. Moved in about 6 months ago. Never got out much, didn't make any friends. We don't need to analyze the obvious, Detective. That would only be inefficient. This is Officer Blunt. Holy shit, she booked it in here. She'll assist you through the course of your work here. Hello, Detective. And, one more thing. We're looking to wrap this case up quickly and cleanly. We don't want to drag it if it can be helped. We've got an important festival coming around in a week's time. So you might say this is, rather bad timing. So there's no need to go around complicating things, alright? Just get me a story that works and we can close this case quickly. This town seems a little suspect. It's gonna be just like the whole town did it. That's how it works. Okay. Good. I'll see you later. Goodbye. Okay then. Anyway. Have a look around the room if you'd like. Come talk to me when you're done. Okay, great. Can we smoke? We can. I want to look at this gun. It's right there. .38 caliber special, as Officer Watts said. Looks pretty old. It can hold 6 rounds. It's a revolver, so it wouldn't have ejected all the shell casings. They should still be in the barrel. There are 3 unused rounds still in here and 3 spent shell casings. 3, huh? That means 3 rounds were fired from this gun at some point of time. If 2 were fired last night, then where's the 3rd? Or was it shot last night or on some other day? The gun belonged to Chris, according to Officer Watts. Let's assume Chris or Diane weren't the ones to use it. Is there anyone else that could have known where they kept the gun? From Pineview? I really doubt it. Remember, no signs of forced entry. Could be someone they were comfortable with, or trusted? No one I can think of. Look. 38 special rounds. It's a box of 50 rounds. There are 44 here, which means 6 are missing. But yeah, we've got the 6 in the gun already. 2 were used last night. There are still 3 loaded in the gun as we saw earlier. If 2 were shot last night, there's still 1 unaccounted for. Was that shot last night too, or on some other day? There's not much to look at, actually. Should be a simple, like, first case, I'd guess. Red wine. Looks like a new bottle was opened yesterday. No one drank from this glass. It seemed that Chris was sitting by himself at the table and drinking wine, waiting for someone to join him. Probably Diane? Whether he was waiting for her or someone else, we don't know yet. Glass of wine was knocked over. This looks like wine, but there seems to be blood in here as well. How did blood spatter in this direction? Doesn't make any sense. These drops of blood feel out of place too. Officer Blunt, I think there's been more than the 2 gunshots that we're seeing here. Interesting. Yeah, I think, yeah, we've just about, oh, we can examine her a bit, I guess. What's this? Say Chris, 96? It does very much say that. It's signed Chris, 96. I'm guessing Chris built some of the furniture around this house. So we have a little look at her. Gunshot to the stomach. Damage in the residue would suggest the shot was taken at point-blank range. That rules out the possibility of her being shot from the open window. She would have been in line of sight from the outside, though. There's no mistaking it. The perpetrator would have to be inside the house to cause this kind of wound. Whether that was Chris or someone else, it's hard to say at the moment. Alright, let's talk to this fella. Oh, okay. Let's not talk to him. Oh, there we go. Bullet wound to the head. Skull's badly damaged, most of the side's been blown off. His body position and the way he fell would indicate he was sitting sideways on a chair facing where Diane's body is now. The angle of the shot indicates he was shot from this side. If someone shot him, they were standing in front of the refrigerator. No clues there, though. He could have been shot from that window. At the moment it's shut. Must get it checked for fingerprints and footprints outside. Could someone have entered and left through here? We should have the fingerprint results in a couple of days, Detective. Don't forget, there aren't any footprints outside. If someone shot him from outside, then Chris would have sat facing the refrigerator. That would make sense, that way the killer wouldn't need to enter the house. But in that case, who shot Diane? Gunpowder residue on his right hand. Hard to disagree with Officer Watts here. It's strong evidence for the victim shooting himself. Unless it was made to look that way. The chair's fallen on its back. Looks like Chris fell off the chair before or after being shot. I think that's everything. Oh, we got a note. Hey, buddy. We done here? Yes. I'm done. Alright, let's have a chat with Mr. Willis outside. The rain's finally let up. Aha! Our witness. Give me some of that coffee. Right, this is Mr. Willis. He lives right there next door. Coffee, Detective? Yes, please. Thank you. You can ask him any questions you may have about last night. Right, Mr. Willis. Can you tell me everything you saw or heard during last night's events? Well, see, I'd headed off to bed around 11 PM as I usually do, after a glass of whiskey. Helps me sleep, you know. Anyway, somewhere around 12:15 AM, I'd say, I was woken up by a loud bang. Ran to my bedroom window, I looked straight down at their place. And? What'd you see? Nothing. The kitchen lights were on, but that's about it. Went to my phone and called Officer Watts here right away. How long did it take you to get to the window once you heard the shot? About a couple of seconds, Detective. Not more than 5, I'd say. Nearly fell out of my bed when I heard the shot, so you might say I was halfway there already. You see any sort of activity on the street? Anything unusual? Nope, Detective. Everything was exactly the same as always. And you said you heard a single shot. Aye. The whiskey usually knocks me out pretty good, so if there'd been more than one, I didn't hear him. Do you live alone, Mr. Willis? Aye, I do. Never got married. It's a long story. One meant to be talked about over a couple of whiskeys, know what I mean? Can anyone confirm your whereabouts? No, I was just at home, you see. Am I a suspect? His voice has changed. He's gone northern. Yeah, it's procedure, Mr. Will. I know Mr. Willis, he's cool. We'll need to have a talk later, officer. Talk? About what? Just later, okay? Okay, Sherlock, whatever you say, Holmes. Did Chris and Diane have many visitors? Friends, etc.? No, not at all, in fact. And all this time I only maybe saw Jack coming over to fix their car. People rarely ever visited them because they mostly kept to themselves, see? Never made any friends here. But sometimes folks don't like those kinds either, so I can't really say, know what I mean? No. Please elaborate. You won't find anyone crying over their deaths here. Nobody really knew them. Never got out much. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us, Mr. Willis? I don't know if this is useful, but you might have heard about Chris and Diane. They looked pretty happy when they first moved in. More recently, though, I heard Diane crying a couple of times. Usually late at night. See, the whiskey knocks me out early, so maybe that's why I never heard all this before. But a couple of times I was up a little later. One night, about a month ago, heard pretty bad things. There were some loud sounds, like stuff being flung around and such, see? I heard someone crying. I was thinking to myself that maybe I should call the police, but then it quieted down all of a sudden. We never received any calls for domestic violence, but people have often talked to stories of this kind. Can you remember when you heard this, Mr. Willis? Well, I was up late night, writing an important letter. I think it must have been somewhere between 1st to 3rd last month. 1st to 3rd September, alright. Anything else? No, that's all I know about this. Alright, thanks for your help, Mr. Willis. We'll be in touch if we need anything else. No problem, and thanks for the coffee. Intriguing. Okay, I think that's a good place to leave the video. That was a look at Rainswept. I really like this so far. It seems like it might be set in the US, but like because it's presumably such a small town, I get a very British detective show vibe from it. Assuming the female detective sticks around, I'm getting a very Broadchurch kind of vibe from it, which is absolutely a good thing, because I love Broadchurch. So I'm hoping it turns out like that, like you spend the whole game in this place just trying to figure out this murder, kind of learning all the secrets about the town. I think that would be great. So I'm hoping it ends up like that. But yeah, that was a great start. And that was Rainswept. Thank you guys very much for watching. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!